Move into it. Game number 1 here between Boom Esports and T1 set to get underway. See what they can get done, of course. It's a classic SEA special here, John, if you do go for a 5v5 team fight early on, but it does seem like T1 are going to walk the opposite way. Exact same will happen here for Boom Esports. They'll just walk towards the north. I do like the fact as well that they gave Skem the Shadow Shaman as we do. You know what the funny thing was, John? Somebody tagged me on Twitter saying, oh, this is going to be weird watching an SCA versus SEA team without any disconnects or pauses. And I told them, don't worry. We brought those internet companies in. We've sorted it out. We're going to have the pauses. I was joking, John. Apparently I wasn't, though. We've got the PLDC buff right here.
Yeah, it's not the location, Mike. It's just us. It's the players. We bring the disconnects with us. We cause the issue. So do have that classic C pause. And what can you do? You go all the way across the world, you still have this. I guess the ISP can't be playing anymore.
Yeah,
right,
well, what excuse they're going to use now? Surely they can't say Discord. Surely.
They could try.
Yeah.
They're all in the boots right now.
Yeah.
And we could actually get someone to verify if it is Discord. So, hey, we could actually find out.
Yeah. We'll see what happens, of course. Again, game number 1 going to be very hyper. Zephyr does give the go-ahead. Love you too, White Mon.
It's just a reflex with you now. You really do have to just say it when you hear it. You just got to reply back, don't you?
Well, that's because you heard me talking to my wife, and I said it about 5 times, John.
Never ends.
If I forget it once, let me tell you, when I come back, it's a death sentence. Right? I can't leave the country.
Do like that movement out from Boom. It looks like they were expecting T1 to play top. You know, completely opposite sides. Both teams have had a lot of time to study each other, to kind of understand what each side wants to do. Boom not going to see that aggression come out. Level 1 from both sides are pretty decent, though. Like, you've got great single target stuns from T1 and great damage output on that CK Trident, as you mentioned, but Boom's isn't too bad either. Let's see if they force the issue. They're both on their side of the rivers, though it looks like it's going to be pretty relaxed for those bounties.
We'll see if they do go for a fight. I mean, FBZ, he is around, but no, he's not going to bother trying to go for a spear back onto the Zephyr Trident. Just leave it kind of be. You were correct, I believe, Jonathan. They are going to run the IO CK lane here with Whitemon and Gabby, so they aren't going to go for the Trident CK. But like you mentioned, like it's fair enough. With the IO, you can still burst out so much damage. So it's still going to be, I think, a very painful experience here for Boom Esports, but we'll see what they can get done. Of course, again, FBZ, this is one of his signature heroes. I know you talked about the Timber Sword, John. We don't have Timber here, we have the Mars, but he's very, very strong at this hero. He knows it like the back of his hand. I expect him to be able to find a way to win out this lane.
Yeah, it's still a pretty good lane for him to be aggressive on. He does have the Phoenix on hand as well, so you've got more damage. You don't have the setup for Spear, but if you do land it, Fire Spirit's on top. There's a lot of DOTs that's going to make the IO's early levels pretty painful if you can isolate him. And you just got to focus on that backline. Phoenix has really good reach, so Tim should always be able to just cut off Whitemon, prevent that sustain, and just give FBZ a much more manageable lane to harass in.
Well, let's talk about the mid lane for a second here, John, because it seems like Yopaj has already taken so much damage. Of course, Carl, very aggressive in the mid lane, and we know
with Chaos Ball plus the Nature's Grasp, that sounds a lot scarier. Not getting the same impact here, despite having that magic missile. It does take a few levels for the missile to really feel like it's worth the mana cost.
Yeah, I mean, but once you do hit that level 15 mark, like you see that, John, 360 damage twice in a team fight. It's a painful experience, and you pointed that out earlier. Definitely can't underestimate how much damage Cuckoo can get done in these team fights. Goes back to the mid lane. Carl, again, copping so much damage, but he is top of the CS board right now. It's you know, Carl, he's been in the mid lane for a very long time. He knows exactly what he's doing. Against the idol again. Will salve up. Will buy himself a salve, I believe, so he does have to waste a bit of gold. But he's still finding the CS, and that'll be good enough for him.
Yeah, he's keeping up in EXP. I think that's the big thing for the Storm in this matchup. You just want to hit level 6. Gold, not a major factor. You're eventually going to find the money for a null. It's just a null talisman. So you don't mind spending it on regen. As long as Yopaj doesn't shove Carl away, he still gets that level build up. He's still going to find 6. And once he does have 6, he can just roll around the map.
Well, Tim's going to meet up with Carl here as they do bring Whitemon. And in fact, Tim's now might be the one in danger. Icarus Dive's not available. It's on cooldown. Oh, Whitemon, he's going to be able to pick up first blood on the IO. I think you would have preferred to give that over to Carl, but nonetheless, they'll be happy with it.
And a bit greedy coming out from Tim's, looking for that deny. On the Water Rune, on the Bounty Rune, Carl, great timing to fill up his bottle. He did give a free lane out to Yopaj for a while, but you don't mind. Again, you're kind of just building up your EXP. The kill's a lot more valuable in this case, and he does even out that gain with Yopaj. Boat here is kind of set to hit her level 6 fast. You have to watch for that puck level 6 though. Like, yeah, Storm gets mobile.
Oh,
Puck has
Yopaj, he's moving in. Carl, one more right click will do it, and they get it. Yopaj able to get in there with the waning rift. Carl gonna drop solo to Yopaj, and well, that's very bad news now for the Storm. Yopaj going to be able to hit level 6 earlier, and that means if Carl returns back into that mid lane, chances are he's going right back to the graveyard.
Yeah, just Dream Coil out, no way to bail out the Storm. You're maybe going to have to drag in your supports. Trident can help, you've got Sustain from Io, but not really the ideal situation considering how close the side lanes are here, Mike. There's just decent pressure from each side to find a course. The supports aren't moving as much, it's very static lanes. We're not seeing the movement out 2, 4, 6 minutes for the runes. So the person who commits first to help that mid sacrifices the side lanes by a fairly big amount, and that's not something you want to risk when you are running that CK for T1 or the Jug for Boom up top. So we'll see who does bend over first, but again, big kill for Yopaj. Level 6 is on hand, and saving the point first to see if you can get away with a farmier build, but that kill potential is there now. Like, Yopaj could call for supports mid or rotate to a side lane and just drop the Dream Coil and go out.
Oh, absolutely. He won't go yet, though. Like you said, he might opt for the farmier build with the orb, and that's also fair enough. Skem currently getting a tip. He'll give it back. I'm not sure what Skem's done. Just kind of walking around. Maybe trying to get that power rune at 6 minutes in. Zephyr is going to show up, and it's going to be an arcane rune. They would have loved that. Meanwhile, Yopaj going to get jumped here by Whitemon and Carl, but he will juke them out. Zephyr going to meet him in the mid lane. Carl, great vortex out. Hands up. Yopaj gonna drop. T1 able to get some revenge here on the idol. Great news for T1.
Yeah, it's a big kill. It helps Carl bounce back. I mean, he died the once, and so it evens out that loss. And you have much stronger presence from your supports, right? Io just tether on to the Storm. It's still Io's Storm. CK, Trident comes out. You can't really beat him down. He's a very beefy hero. You just don't have the greatest control from Shadow Shaman and Phoenix. Like, the Shaman's going to take a while until he can set up for your plays. Aether Lens, Blink. On the pause 5, that takes some time. So whether or not Skem will actually have that presence really depends on how well they start to find these kills.
Yeah, but problem is now Cuckoo's in trouble. Dream Coil out. He's going to snap the coil himself as Jackie will chase him down, and eventually Yopaj going to take the kill on the puck. Nice little rotation out. And look at the first use of the Dream Coil that he did have now. So he does end up going for that Dream Coil at the level 6 mark, opting to start rotating around. And I suppose it is generally a good idea to slow down the Venge, because really once you do hit that Axe timing, it is very hard to go against.
It really is, and you only really need rate bands right before hitting the Axe. Cuckoo's already set up with a Brown Boots double rate bands, so he's just set to save up and set to kind of just look for kill opportunities, but mainly just hold the lane. And it's a pretty stable start for Avenge. Not the highest in CS, but he hasn't been completely shut out. Has to watch his positioning, though.
Yeah, Jackie's got Omni Slash available. Zephyr going to be able to help him out, though, with the Living Armor. Because you do get that bonus armor as well now for that Living Armor, so you've got to be a little bit wary of that if you are Jackie. It's, I believe, +7 armor there for Cuckoo, just with that Living Armor being provided. So very, very kind of defensive ability there from the Train Protector. And Jackie, while he will have the spin, doesn't really have the right-click damage as long as you've got that up and available. In fact, Cuckoo almost looking like he wants to try and move in here. Jackie, he does have the spin, so it might be a little bit hard to connect the magic missile.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult. You could maybe try to make a play once you've got swap up, drag the jug a little bit backwards at least to stop the spin TP as well. Could be one option, but I think you just kind of have to accept that without a +1 on top of that Dream Protector for the Venge, the kill opportunity is just really rough. That should be Carl making his way down. He's already on triple null in the Storm, so he's kind of set to get going. He's got the double damage rune on hand as well from the mid, already at level 8, and still just camping mid. I guess what Carl wants to do now is just track that puck and ensure where the puck goes, the Storm's there as well.
Oh, look how well Gabby's farming, John. We haven't really talked about it much whatsoever, but Gabby, top of the net worth board. We kind of predicted that the bot lane was going to be a bit of a rough affair here for Boom, and it certainly has been. FPZ, props to him, he has kept up in net worth, which is rather impressive. But Gabby really is starting to take over. Already has the armlet up, and I doubt things are going to slow down here for T1.
No, definitely not. They can just farm up with that Phantasm now. The Jug can farm jungles just as well, but it's a lot faster for the CK. And I am keen to see what Jackie builds up when going back to that Jug. He's building what looks to be a Battle Fury, Mike. He's going Battle Fury Juggernaut to deal with the illusions, looks like. At least the Perseverance coming out first. I'm not sure how to feel about that. It feels like Jug is such a tempo-based hero nowadays, relying on the Omni Slash and the Cleave to clear out Phantasm illusions just doesn't feel ideal.
I think the thing with Jackie is, and we know this a lot about this man, is he does tend to outfarm pretty much every other player in SCA if you do give him the space. So he's naturally going to go for those greedier builds here, but I do agree with you. The Battle Fury Jug, it hasn't really felt like a thing in quite a while. I'll see how he does go with it, but I do suppose you get a little bit of extra value, John, against the Tree and Protector. You can at least quell some trees with that Battle Fury. We're going to have a bit of a team fight breaking up mid lane. Stun is there, Tim's. He'll cop it straight away. He'll try to just walk out with the Icarus dive. Skem, meanwhile, does end up going down as they are going to try onto Yopaj. He will go for the phase shift, but he is going to get chased down. Carl, a double kill once again. Hands are up, but no high fives are coming.
Yeah. No high fives coming out from Boom. A bit of a rough affair, just kind of tumbling in one by one. Shackles were there to set up. They've got a lot of ways to stop that. And Carl really trying to get into Yopaj's head. Gets the tip out to our idol. TP's forced out for the defense. Already an early pressure coming out from T1. Not going to be able to fully commit. But you can see how Boom's forced to respond now. It's just, you let loose the IO Storm. This is bound to happen. Triple null plus IO. You're just set to go every single time.
Yeah, a very balanced item build here for the Storm, as Carl's having a very good time right now. I think I was talking about it with Purge earlier on in the van, Johnny. He was kind of just mentioning to me, hey, this Storm here is kind of stupid. It's, you know, you just need 2k net worth and suddenly you're online. You're stronger than any other hero. Incredible.
Yeah, just doesn't take much to get going.
Jackie relocates there. Jackie, does he have the spin? He will pop it. Nice swap out though. Zephyr, he'll hold him down. Jackie could go for an Omni, but no, he doesn't get it off in time. Skem, he'll try and go for a run, but Carl's just going to chase him down. Shackles around, but it's only going to delay the inevitable. Japoy, he tried to rotate over and get something done. In fact, he's going to make the jump in. I'm not sure if they have the damage, but maybe with the egg, they could try. Carl, he's been silenced up, trying to run, but the orb, it's going to make it in time. Now the stun out. Cuckoo, he'll cop it. Japoy with the tips mid-team fight. And I always say this about this man, John. You never tip the idol too early.
You never do. You're going to end up eating your own tip. And Yopaj does give it back. That's how they need to play here on Boom, right? Play with your team fight ults. We said it in draft. We haven't seen any arenas come out yet from FBZ, but just play with those egg combos. Dream Coil egg, arena egg. You have really good team fight on pretty low CD that you can just run up onto T1 and punish them, especially while they're still a ways off from the BKBs. That does give a lot of space out to Gabby to farm. Our CK is still building up, hold on.
Zip forward, Carl. He had the right idea. Very, very good at reading the movement there of Jackie. Skem, though, was around with FBZ just in case they needed it. And I do agree with the playstyle of T1, right? Like, you really want to make sure Jackie just can't have the free game he's looking for.
Yeah, just slow down that farm. I think they've gotten read that Jackie is going for the Battle Fury, so he has no real presence on the Jug. There's no threat of like spinning on top with the Diffusal and Inhibit to keep them inside the spin. There's no threat of an early Omni Slash with damage output. Boom, though, are starting to play as a group. They've got no blink up yet on FBZ, but he does have the arena ready, so they could look to force the issue into that tier 1.
Look at this though, John. They're trying to bait with Jackie down to the bot lane, but it's too obvious. T1, they know exactly what's happening. Zephyr's the only one around. He'll go for the ulti out. There's the Omni Slash. In fact, never mind. It wasn't obvious enough. They do get caught out. Shackles are there. Skem, he'll be holding down Carl, but he's still fine. He'll survive. Instead, they'll take down Whitemon and Zephyr. So at least they get the Storm away. And I thought T1 had read the movement, but it turns out they'll go for the relocate. They could not leave the bait alone down at bot. They do take it, and they do get hooked.
Yeah, it's way too juicy to see Jackie up there. You see a Jug trying to farm Battle Fury. You want to punish down mid.
Oh, Cuckoo getting chased down. Yopaj, he's got the double damage rune. So much damage in the puck. He's got that Witch's Blade up as well. It's a very painful experience. Look at this, John. Look at this replay. They did miss the spear. I think that was the one reason they didn't bother going after Carl. They just left him. Had you landed the speed, you probably would have had the damage, but without it, you just don't.
Yeah, you really don't. You've got to land everything onto Carl if you want him. But beyond that, this is the playstyle Boom needs to have for at least the next, it feels like 5 to 10 minutes. Play around those cooldowns. It's a minute long tops. So it's like every minute you've got to get that gank out with at least 2 of your cores. Play with Arena, play with Dream Coil, play with Egg. rinse and repeat every single time. You do want to start hunting Gabby down, though. He's just been farming around. He's not been contested on the CK. He's gonna have his Echo Saber up along with the Armlet into the BKB next. Once that CK hits BKB, none of your spells will stop it. So you do have to keep an eye on Gabby. You mentioned Jackie farming faster than anyone else. Right now, Gabby's just having free reign on the map, though.
I mean, this guy's a veteran, right, in the SCA scene. We've seen this man so many times at so many majors and so many TIs. You can't underestimate Gabby in this POS 1 role as Yopaj going to move in with FBZ once again onto Cuckoo, but a nice swap out. Carl is going to move in, but he's a bit too early. He gets Dream caught up. Surfboard's dropped. Gabby, he'll show up. He'll try to help out. Carl, he's going to drop on the Storm Spirit as Yopaj. He'll go for a run. Gabby going to chase him down with Cuckoo, but Yopaj still trying to find a way out, but it's not going to be enough. Meanwhile, FBZ comes back in for Cuckoo. They do find a 2-for-2 trade. Not too bad. Both mid laners do go down, and well, I believe Boom actually end up coming out on top.
It feels rather even. I'd say it's actually favorable for T1 because you're getting some activity out from Gabby. You're getting him to use those early items he picked up, and you're starting to get that investment back from your CK. So he shows up. He's a massive presence. You don't have the damage to deal with him yet. And in contrast, your Jug is just kind of trying to farm up where he can. So you're not getting that added presence yet from Jackie. You are still waiting for the Battle Fury. And even after the Battle Fury, it does feel like the Jug's gonna need 1 or 2 more items on top. You know, you're not in a solid position yet. I'd say the Ags feels like it's gonna be necessary if you are focusing on that right click on the Jug. T1 for their part, I mean, they're not dissuaded, Mike. They're still running around as 3, running around as 4. You've got the Arcane Rune up for Carl now. So he is pretty much ready to go. Triple Null, Arcane Rune, and Bottle. Nothing will stop this man.
Oh, certainly not. Jonathan Carl going to move up towards the north immediately. We'll find Skem. Be a nice pick off here, and a Skem. You kind of talked about this earlier, John, but it's not going to be so easy to be able to farm up something like a Blink Aether on the POS 5 Shadow Shaman. And for T1, they're doing a great job of being able to constantly hunt this man down and make that timing even slower. But there is going to be a smoke. Boom Esports, they see T1. They want to force the fight. They've hit some great timings here with their Mars and their Puck. Plenty of damage available, as they will find Whitemon immediately. Whitemon, he won't have a tether target, so he does get locked down. But he does do a successful job of tanking the gank for the rest of the team. You'd have to argue for Boom. That's not a great smoke attempt at all.
No, it's a valiant attempt. They don't manage to find the right hero to cut off. You really want to pin down Carl or Gabby. I'd say your point about the Venge is a bigger one, Mike. He is 2 parts into the Ags. Cuckoo's got a lot of room to farm up, not showing up to these fights and not dying as much. So your Venge is about to hit critical mass as well, on top of your CK getting into that BKB, and even Carl getting into his BKB. Once that spell immunity's up, Boom's strategy of just running and gunning with her ults, it's not going to pan out. And that's when the draft starts to feel really shaky. Level 25 for Puck is still a long ways off.
Oh, Cuckoo gonna get caught. Do they have a stun? Yeah, they will. Yopaj, he'll show up with the Dream Call, and once again, they'll be able to hunt down the Vengeful Spirit. Happy days. That's a much better gank attempt there for Boom, and it's something we talked about during the draft as well, John. It's going to be heavily reliant here for Yopaj and the Mars on FBZ to try and make sure they can set a tempo in this game. Right now with a 5k net worth lead, it's looking darn good for them.
Yeah, they're really managing to just force all the resources of T1 onto Gabby alone. But again, you've got the other cores are just so sacrificial. It's a Venge, it's a Storm. They don't need much to really get going. So despite that 5k lead, it still feels like T1 has a lot going for them. BKB for Carl is not too far off now. And the Ags again for Venge, 1 part away.
Oh, Carl's going to be very careful. He's low on mana. He'll be able to back off in time. John, another point we've got to make here as well. Like, you talked about Gabby with all the net worth. Look at Jackie. Look how fast he's caught up.
Man. Yeah, it's the difference of having that Battle Fury up on your Jug. So he's managed to catch up to a CK who, you know, before the Echo Saber just wasn't fighting, wasn't showing up to anything, just farming up. And Jackie's had a rough time from the start. You know, his lane wasn't the best. He didn't manage to get that initial farm. If this does keep up, the Jug will have a really nice power spike by the time he gets 2 items in. Bit of a smoke play out from Boom, though. And then, again, really good read of their draft, just playing with her team fight spells. Gotta find bigger heroes with this gank, though.
Oh, here we go up the top lane. Depoy going to be on the front side here for the team. Oh, they're going to find Gabby. That's the target they wanted. Yopaj will make the jump in, but Whitemon already with the relocate, trying to find a way out. Tether is there. Oh, he got stunned up. Oh, he snapped the coil, John. He didn't time it right.
Yep.
Yopaj, he made sure to commit the dream call on the IO. And Whitemon, he tried to time it perfectly before the coil snaps with the tether. I think he was like 0.1 of a millisecond. It was so tight.
Yeah, not tight enough, and they managed to find that big corb. So they get the big kill that they've really neglected this entire game, giving that first step out onto Gabby. And now you're even comfy enough for Jackie to start showing up here. So just rinse and repeat. Boom has been finding fights every minute, Mike.
Yeah.
Every single time Dream Coil's off cooldown, Yopaj is on the case, and they have to maintain that pace for, again, up until the 25-minute mark, it feels like. Once those BKB start rolling in, as we're already seeing Carl's BKB, it starts to get tough. Like, your Puck's level 25 is still 10 levels away. That's, what, 20, 25 minutes down the line. They are gunning for the Roche. You do have the Shadow Shaman on your side, so no wards up. But Jug can still get the work done at least. Not as fast, though. There's some opportunity here for T1 to respond if they want.
Well, they've got to hurry up, John. It's already halfway there. T1, are they coming? It seems like they are.
Oh, they smoked in the reward.
Oh, boy. That's a bit rough for him. See what they can get done as they are going to try and move in. Carl, he's going to be there. They do jump in. Great Hex out. Cuckoo, he's going to try and swap him out. He's done a great job of it, but can they get out of there? Jackie, he'll be rooted up, but it's not looking good. T1, they've got to try and find a way to fight back. On FBZ they go. He'll fight back, though. He'll stand his ground. There's the egg out from Tim's, stunning them up. They can't get the Mars. Whitemon's down. Gabby can't get out either. A triple kill out for Yopaj. And a happy days here for Boom Esports. So they'll take the Roshan down. Aegis up on Jackie. You couldn't have asked for much more.
That was some perfect timing on the smoke break. Yopaj jumping out right as they wanted to come in, using that ward that scouted out the smoke in such a big way. And you can see that again, that fight was just perfectly executed. The patience from FBZ to get the spear back, to lock in Gabby at the end of the fight, his positioning to dodge off that damage walking through the arena walls, just so much at work. And T1, again, it looked like they had a smooth ride in this game. They were getting some good farm on their course, just dropping like flies now.
Yeah, now Zephyr to drop as well. Very, very painful here so far for T1. 10k behind. They had such an aggressive draft to get started. We loved the draft during the draft phase, but Boom Esports, they came to play today, and my God, are they playing?
Now they have, it feels like T1's just not getting on the aggression anymore. They're not as confident perhaps with where their heroes are at. Maybe once they get this BKB on their CK, that starts to feel a lot better. You do have the Ags up on Cuckoo, so you're willing to be much more sacrificial on Avenge. We need to see T1 take initiative. You know, they've got that relocate play. We haven't seen that in a while, and I think they've got to be able to get that done. Just be the aggressors. Maybe not while this Aegis is up. Once it does settle down, you could have that opportunity. You know that the Jug can't fight without the Omni Slash.
Yeah.
With only spin, he's not safe. There's so many ways to go through that spell immunity. So you can punish Jackie, and you do have those BKBs piling up on T1. So you're dropping losses here and there right now, but with the spell immunity on the CK and Storm, it's a different story.
Cuckoo, he's been caught out again. He's got the axe up, but he's going to lose his first life immediately. Maybe he can keep the Remnant alive, but no, FBZ, not going to allow it. He wants everything. As Cuckoo, he'll swap his way back in. They're going to try and fight. Carl, he'll go in on the Shaman, but with the BKB, it's just not going to work. He's got to get out of there. And so Jackie, he'll move high ground now. You've got no BKB available on the Storm. It's a very hard defense for T1.
It's a toughie. I mean, you could run in with your CK with his fresh BKB. They need to find a really good angle for the overgrowth here. You don't have anything like a blink up yet. On Zephyr, he's saving up for a Hex. He's not even going for a blink or any utility here on hand.
Oh, Yopaj trying to move in and snipe somebody. That'll be the top lane of Barracks to go down. Luckily, they can't go for too much more. They're just going to have to back their way out.
Mike, click on Zephyr. Like, he has 3.3k in the bank. He's just going for...
Well, I apologize, Jonathan. It seems like the minimap's kind of messed up right now, so sadly it's fogged up at the moment. I apologize for that. I've pressed the wrong button, apparently. Have no idea what the right button is to fix it now.
No problem. You know, it happens. But I want to point out, Zephyr right now is sitting on 3.4k worth of gold. He's rushing that Hex. So he's going Hex on the Treant first. No blink. No utility, no refresh, no Ags. Just wants that instant lockdown for, I'm assuming, Yopaj, who has been slippery. So we'll see if that pays off. It does feel like T1 doesn't have a clear way of starting fights. They've got relocate, they've got swap, they haven't seen those opportunities. Overgrowth could be a big way in that.
Oh, Gabby, he's in the middle of all this. Omni slashes out. He's popped his BKB, but the damage is flying in. Gabby, he's going to be able to get his way out, but now onto Zephyr they go. Cuckoo, he's going to try to have to run. FBZ, that's a great spear out onto the tier 3 tower. Lock him down. Cuckoo, he'll at least get the remnant away, but he's going to lose his initial life once again as they'll move onto the high ground. They want that second lane of barracks. Boom. They know how powerful they are right now. There's just no stopping them. They won't wait for these storm shenanigans later on. So you are still seeing the zip through here from Cuckoo, but eventually Boom gonna look to get their way out. Or do they stick around perhaps? It doesn't seem like it.
And they've still got time on that Aegis, about 50 seconds left, so they could make maybe a play onto the tier 2 bot, start to open up the high ground a little bit more. On the side of T1, without Overgrowth being popped, it just doesn't feel like you're finding these fights anymore. Again, you've got the BKBs ready. You've got to use them on both of your cores at the right opportune moment to get that jump onto Boom. They don't have a way of piercing through that spell mute. You just need to be able to pin someone down, but Boom's aggression has just been so consistently coming out. Like almost every single minute, they've been forcing that aggression out, and T1 just, it doesn't feel like they have an answer. It doesn't feel like they're ready to fight yet, despite having that early BKB, despite having the Ags on the bench. They're still on the defensive, and I think it goes back to something we heard from regional finals there, Mike. You know, we were talking to teams with the interviews. Everyone pointed out T1 likes to play a slower game, even with Gabby in, and it does feel like we're seeing that here, that big distinction in the playstyle. Boom, just constant aggression, every single minute a fight. Whereas T1's just sitting back and farming. It's not holding up well against that aggression here.
Right. Update on the minimap issue, ladies and gentlemen. I am currently trying to get it resolved, but turns out we might have to wait for the second game, so I'll do the old switcheroony just to be able to see what the hell's going on here between these two teams. But as you can see, Boom, we're in a very confident position now. Jackie just so far ahead of Gabby, just about 5k net worth ahead, in fact. Pretty rough affair. See if they want to go high ground again. It does seem like Boom want to try and make it happen. They aren't making their way up yet. It's still scary against the Storm, but top lane, Yopaj, he's going to find Gabby. Dreamcall is not up at the moment. Gabby still trying to fight back, does have to stun, but a nice juke out, and now FBZ, great spear out. They've got the Chaos Knight. Gabby, he needs a way out of this, but oh, he pops his BKB. He has buyback jump, but he doesn't have BKB.
Yeah, it's tough. He didn't use it earlier. And if he just popped BKB and ran while Yopaj was playing around with him, he would have been perfectly safe. Again, no BKB piercing from any hero from Boom until he hit that level 25 mark on the puck. But it just doesn't matter. Boom, they're in their heads. Good swap out, but it's on the job.
Here we go. Jackie gonna move in. Not gonna be able to finish off Cuckoo. Meanwhile, Tims. No, Tims does get Cuckoo. Never mind. The Fire Spirit damage is gonna be enough. So they move in once again. Boom Esports. Swap out, Jackie. Gonna be fine, it's just the remnant of Cuckoo trying to pick somebody off, but there's FBZ to drag it back, try to take it down. Jackie, he'll move in. Carl trying to help out. Coil's there. Cuckoo gonna try and survive, but he's down. Zephyr in the meantime has the scythe device up. They're trying onto FBZ, but he's still alive. Great spear out. The Sun Ray, it'll keep him up the whole time. They just can't deal with the spine of Boom Esports. FBZ, the FB CEO, is not going down, Jonathan.
No, he definitely isn't. Mike just been setting up all the plays with his spears. I have to say, T1's targeting is a bit... It's not ideal. They're swapping in the Jug. He's always got the spin. Jackie's been very patient with when to pop that spin in these pushes, knowing that, all right, just wait for the swap, spin afterwards, you're good to go. They're going to have to expend Overgrowth if they really want that kill, and it's a massive cooldown to commit. You do have the Hex up on Zephyr now. So he does have that capability to just instantly lock someone down, and T1 is smoking around that item here.
But they are. See what they can find here, T1. They're going to wait very patiently. Boom Esports, of course, on the high ground of the Radiant Triangle right now. They understand the smoke is probably happening. T1 still very, very patient. Trying to hold that high ground. Boom. Gonna go for a counter smoke here. This could be a very scary scenario now. T1 Are they going to expect this? Running towards the right direction. Gabby, he cannot afford to die. He can't afford it. He does have the BKB TP away if he does need to.
Oh, Yopaj.
Not going to find anyone either. And while we do have a second, John, I believe I can actually fix the fog if we do get there.
Let's get to it, Mike. Get to it. We all see your settings. We'll pretend it's not you.
Yeah.
Go on, Observer.
I'm trying to find out where it is.
It's the Observer. It's not you, Mike.
Yeah, the Observer. Can't be me. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Just trying to find out exactly where the hell this damn button is.
Spectator.
Where is it, John?
Spectator. Lower right. Lower right window. There. Lower right. Lower.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, John.
There you go. Fog for both teams.
Oh, there
F1.
it is. F1. There
Yes,
we
sir.
go. Look at that. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, you are getting a live tutorial on how to do observing in Dota 2. Don't follow my instructions, though. As you can see, we've had a bit of a rough time. Maybe ask John.
You could try. Chances are I won't see. Still, Roche goes the way of Boom once more. Aegis on hand now for Jackie, ready to go onto that high ground. Still a challenge, though, Mike. You've still got that Storm zipping in and out, clearing out the creep waves. 4 nulls, a bottle, and BKB into the Ags. I mean, what more can you ask for this hero, Mike? It's perfectly set for the high ground siege.
Jackie gonna take one already. No problem. He'll stick around for the next. Healing ward already out. Cuckoo, he'll go for a swap. They want FBZ once again with the Dream Core. Yopaj in with a big one. Now the Omni slash out. Just going right to the backside. Zephyr's gone. They do at least find FBZ though. Cuckoo dropping low is gonna drop to boot. That'll be 2 down, but they do still have the Venge Remnant. Carl, all he can do right now is keep zipping through and hoping for the best. They will swap in Jackie. That's a big pick-off. They'll get the Aegis down. That'll be 1. Yopaj in the meantime, right onto Whitemon, but is unable to finish off the kill. But now with the Aegis down, Boom Esports, they probably won't stick around. Oh, Jackie, he's stuck. Oh, Jackie's stuck. He's all right. He'll phase shift. He'll be fine, John. My good, I was a little bit worried there for a second.
Gotta keep that tension up. You know, Boom likes making things exciting. T1 on a bit of a bad spot right now, Mike. I mean, they can get some good defense out. I like that change up from Coop. He stops swapping Jackie. He starts to look for FBZ. You need to pin down those playmakers. Stop the Mars, stop the puck, and then the fight opens up for T1. So gotta find that angle. Really difficult with Yopaj again, just going in and out on this puck, making this hero look so damn good right now. The smoke's out though.
Gabby, he's in. The Phoenix being caught out. Skem gonna try and help out as Tim's. He's surviving, at least for now, but the sight device is there. Boom, Jackie, he will at least try for 1. They do get the Venge. The respawn is coming. Meanwhile, Gabby back onto the Juggernaut, but FBZ, he's back into the team fight. Sight device is there. They've got the CK locked down. Gabby, he needs some help, but he's not gonna get it. Zephyr down to boot. 2 down without buyback. Zephyr, he can commit his own, but it's a very, very rough defense to come now for T1 as they go for more. The Idol. Again, John, you don't tip this man early. He's on the hunt. He wants a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, you tip him that early, you end up sometimes regretting it. Carl been having a bit of a rough time. They do get the swap out.
They've got the Ags on Carl. They want that AoE Vortex, but they're going to lose Cuckoo again as Carl. He'll jump in, but where's your backup damage? It's not there. In goes the Sunray. In goes the Carl. Oh, he gets caught out. He's down without buyback. That's it. GG's called. They've had enough. Boom Esports. They woke up on the right side of the bed today, Jonathan. A great...